Okay, this is your factoring overview. This is going to cover the 3 different types of factoring, and the first 2 will be on your quiz, which will be Friday. So you might want to review the first 2. The first one, what you always do is you always make sure you factor out the GCF. That's always first. And to do that, remember we do the factoring trees on the numbers. So 18 is 3 and 6, 3 and 2. So that gives us 3 times 3 times 2 times x times x times x, y. Subtract. Now we're going to do 36. 36 factors out to 6 and 6, 2, 3, and 2 and 3. So that's 2 times 3 times 2 times 3, x, x, y. The last one is 24. 24 factors out to, let's say, 6 and 4, 2, 2, 3, 2. So subtract 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times x times y. Now this is a trinomial, 3 terms. You can also say that it's a degree 4 because that's degree 4. 4 letters, 3 letters, 2 letters. Now we don't need that here. What we do need to do is get that common factor. So we can get the prime factors. We got a pair of 3s maybe? Nope, not a pair of 3s. All we have is 1, 3. And let's see, there's 1, 2. And then we have an x. And then we have a y. So my common factor is 3 times 2 times x times y. So this is equal to 3 times 2 is 6, 6xy. And then we're going to write down what's left over on the inside. So you have a 3x squared, 3x squared. Then we have a subtract 2 times 3 times x, which is subtract 6x. And we have 2 times 2, which is subtract 4. Okay. Next, we'd want to check to see the inside and see if this inside is a difference of perfect squares, or if we can do factoring on that by Xbox or by a grouping. But right now, let's settle with that answer because that's kind of what you're going to be focusing in on with greatest common factor. Factoring a difference of perfect squares. Okay, there's only 2 terms here. It's a binomial. But no matter what, my first step is always the GCF, the greatest common factor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this one quickly. Let's see, 18 is 3 and 6, 2 and 3. So that gives me 3 times 2 times 3, then 2 x's and 1 y. Subtract. Now 98 may take a little bit. Let's see. 98. I know I can take my calculator and say, well, I think 2 goes in there because it's an even number. And if I do that, I get 2 times 49. And that's nice because that just gives me 7 and 7. So 2 times 7 times 7. And then I only have one letter y. This is a binomial. First term is a 3rd degree, 1st degree. So the whole polynomial is a 3rd degree polynomial. And the common factors are 2 and y, which is good. Because right now it's just ugly. 2y gives me 9x squared, subtract 49. See, I've got 3 times 3x squared, it's 9x squared, and then 7 times 7, 49. Now, I got to look at the inside here. Let's see. It is a difference. That is perfect because it's 3x times 3x. Let me write that a little bit better. 3x times 3x. That makes it perfect because they're exactly the same. And 49 is perfect, 7 times 7, which means I have a difference of perfect squares. Remember this number on the outside, this y, 2y, that's just your hanger. Your GCF just hangs there. And now I'm going to put my two parentheses and write my perfect. Perfect plus 7 minus 7. Now remember, I can switch the order of those two, the plus and minus signs. And that is completely factored to its prime factors. The third one, now this is the new stuff. This is Xbox. This is by grouping. Okay, so we're going to create a box. I'm going to put that over here. And in the box, you're going to take A and C. Now, this is ax squared plus bx plus c. That's standard form. So when I say AC, I mean I'm taking 4 and the negative 6. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. I'm going to put that in the top part of my box, my X box. At the bottom, I find my B. B is the one attached to the X right there. This nice thing is this is in standard form. You're going from highest degree 2 down to lowest degree. And my B, I put down here. Now, the goal is to take AC, take AC, which is negative 24, and I need the factors for 24. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to match that up with negative 10, which is B, and I'll show you how. So the way to get negative 24, I can take 1 times negative 24. It's one way to get it. I can do negative 1 times 24. Or I can take 2 times negative 12 or negative 2 times 12. I'm creating all the factors that create the negative 24. Let's see, I think 3 goes in there too. 3 goes in there 8 times. So 3 times negative 8 or negative 3 times 8. Let's see. 4 goes in there. Gee, there's a lot that goes in here. So 4 times 6, negative 6, or negative 4 times 6. 5 doesn't go in there. 6 does, but I already have the 6's. So as soon as I get to matching up this other side, I don't have to go any further. I think I have all the factors that give me negative 24. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the two things together. My goal is to get negative 10. So if I add these two factors together, I get negative 23. I don't want that. That's out. If I add these two together, I get 23. I want negative 10. That's not my choice. Now I'm going to try to add these two. 2 plus negative 12 is negative 10. Hey, I got the one I want. That means my 2 and negative 12 are the two things that I want to put in my other side of my box. 2 and negative 12. All right? So once we have the box, this is how we use it. What we're going to do is we're going to write this is equal to, and we're going to write the 4x squared, and we're going to write the c because we don't want to change those. See that negative 10? It's a combination of the 2, let's put that in red, 2 and the negative 12. So what I'm going to do is combine 2x and the negative 12x. See, these two together come together to create that negative 10. If I added like terms, 2x and negative 12x would give me negative 10. The reason we're doing this is because that is going to allow us to separate this thing. We're going to be able to separate into two factors. Now here we go. I'm going to rewrite this because I want to show you. These two things here, these two numbers and these two groups of numbers are grouped. That's why we call it grouping. And what we're going to do is we're going to factor out the common factor for the first group. The first group, the common factor is 2x. If I take out a 2, that leaves me a 2x here. And plus, well, there's nothing left over on the second one here. There's nothing left over here. So what I'm going to do is just put a 1 to keep it there. Now here, right here, the second grouping, the common number would be -6 because -12 and -6 is in both of them. So -6, 2x, because -6 plus, and then +1. Here, let's just check that real quick. Distribute, that's 4x squared, good. And then 2x times 1 is 2x. So we've got our matches. And then check this one. -6 times 2x is -12x. -6 times 1 is -6. So I've got a perfect grouping. But notice how nice this is. See these two things? That's what I have to have. We hope that they're both the same, because if they're both the same, then I have the correct factoring. Okay, let's write that down. Let's write down the 2x plus 1. See, that's our common factor. What's left, I'm going to put here. See, what we took these two things out. These are gone. That leaves me with a 2x subtract 6. And that would go in the second parenthesis. Now, unfortunately, Schroeder forgot to do the first thing, which is to pull out a common factor. But for right now, let's just go with that idea. That is how you do group by factoring. It would have been a lot nicer if I chose to get the common factor out there first. You'll see additional examples of grouping when you do the grouping worksheet, and I'll have a video for that also.